Hello, everybody. I know it's been a while since I've actually done a movie review on my channel. Been almost 2 weeks, but I normally try to do these things, like in a. I try to do them too sporadically or too several at once because of course, like many people, I have a life. I actually work a job and everything. But I still try to at least do one on my channel and still try to broaden my horizon. And I know a lot of my videos look repetitive but this is all about movie reviews, and I love this is the kind of thing I love doing. So I'm actually about to talk about a movie here that is not well known by a lot of people, but I figured I'd try to get it out there to the world. And the film I'm going to review is a film called Street Trash. Street Trash is actually this little known exploitation horror. Well, I guess the term melt movie comes to mind because that's the term I actually discovered. Melt movie, and it actually came out on my birth year of 1987. That's all. I'm as old as this movie is. Basically, the film is about two young runaways or drifters named Fred and Kevin, who both are brothers, and they live in a tire hut in the back of an auto wrecking yard. Life is hard for them because living as a homeless person, you have to try to struggle as best as you can. The most lethal threat to the boys is the mysterious case of Tenafly Viper wine found in Ed's liquor store window. Basically, Ed, a liquor store owner, finds a box hidden behind a wall that carries this alcohol, Tenafly Viper. Of course, accordingly, the stuff is 40 years old and it's gone bad. So basically, he starts selling it because he thinks, "Oh, this is going to be a hot selling type." But anyone who drinks it practically melts in seconds. And it's only $1 a bottle. At least that's the description in the back. But the thing about the crate, yeah. Basically, yeah, this stuff, as soon as people drink it, they instantly melt into a gooey, icky mess in mere seconds. And of course, we basically get, another guy that basically sort of like runs a sort of like a gauntlet or is like a king in his own personal, homeless space that will do whatever it takes to, make sure everything stays in order. But Fred and Kevin, do whatever they can to survive. And Kevin, of course, has and I believe Kevin, the younger brother, has obviously got a thing going on with a beautiful girl himself, and Fred, the older brother, is just doing whatever he can to survive and to make sure the other brother, stays in line with him. But basically, Street Trash is, the best way to describe this movie is it's a non-trauma film. And I mean trauma movie, Trauma, the company that done films like Toxic Avenger, Class of Nukem High, Tromeo and Juliet, those kinds of movies. It feels like a trauma film, but it is not a trauma movie. There are a couple of things that really connected very well to Trauma. One of the actors in the film is Pat Ryan, who is probably best known by Trauma fans as the mayor from the first Toxic Avenger, and he was also in Class of Nukem High. He was the president of the power plant. He actually appears in this film as the owner of the auto wrecking yard. He's easy. If you're a Trauma fan, he's easy to recognize. And the other is the makeup and special effects work was done by she's one of them, Jennifer Aspinall, if I pronounced her name right. She was actually one of the main effects supervisors on the Toxic Avenger. She I think did the makeup done to the actor that played Toxie, and of course all the gore effects that were used. And Street Trash has some of the most despicable effects I've ever seen in film. Like, there's a guy that drinks the chemical or the alcohol, and he literally melts down into a toilet seat. In fact, the front cover there, that's sort of what happens. The guy's grabbing onto the thing that flushes the toilet, and of course, he literally dissolves into the seat. And it looks like something out of, if anybody's a fan of Basket Case, that's what kind of looks like, or what he melts into. But yeah, some of the gore and special effects work are just incredible. Incredible stuff. It's despicable. It's disgusting. There's, this movie is basically what you call, Yeah, it rode the last wave of super gore films in the late 80s before cinema entered the era of safe R-rated horror and unoriginal remakes. Actually, that's the best way to describe it, because Street Trash is one of those films that it's like one of the movies you find at the mom and pop video stores, and it's like you see it on the shelf and it's like, man, where did this movie come from? It's one of those movies you just see on the shelf and you just can't help but you're like, oh, I may want to pick it up and see what it's like. And it's like, yeah, I mean, basically me reviewing this here, you really have no idea what you're in for when you see this movie. Special effects are insane. It's, like I said, it's got sex, it's got nudity, it's got gore, it's got violence. It's a despicable movie. It's basically all the stuff you kind of see in a trauma film, and that's the kind of stuff I actually enjoy in a movie. I mean, some people actually call an 80s movie with terrible acting, lots of gore, lots of sex and nudity. It's like that giant cheeseburger that you order at a restaurant. You know, it's full of everything. This movie is like the perfect example of a cheeseburger that most diehard 80s cult fans love to eat, gobble up and eat. And honestly, some of the effects in the film are definitely not for the faint of heart. This is obviously not going to be for everybody, but for those of you that are curious about the film, I'd say give it a watch. I would give this film a rating, but honestly, it's really hard to rate a movie like this because, I mean, overall, the acting is not, I mean, it's not terrible. The story is, you know, it's kind of hard to follow because it jumps all over the place. We're focusing on homeless people. We're focusing on things other than that. It does have a bit of a Mad Max vibe because some of the characters in the film look like characters out of a Mad Max movie, almost. And again, like I said, it feels like a trauma film because, as I said, one of the effects supervisors who worked on The Toxic Avenger did a lot of the effects in the movie, and it even stars a co-star from a couple of trauma films. So it does feel like a trauma movie, but it's not. I think I remember at one point, I think I remember listening to one of the commentaries on one of the trauma films. Lloyd Kaufman mentioned this movie in an interview, and he didn't seem all that thrilled by it, but that's just something I remember. I don't remember that if that was real or not, but I can't remember what commentary or interview it was on, but I forget. So, the film was directed by Jim Murrow, who also went by James Michael Murrow, who actually... this is actually his directing debut, and to this date, I've actually checked his filmography out. I think this is the one and only film that he actually directed. Jim Murrow actually went on to become he's actually a well-known Steadicam and camera operator who actually worked on several big Hollywood productions. In fact, he worked a lot with James Cameron. He was a Steadicam operator on The Abyss, Terminator 2, True Lies, and even Titanic. And he worked on other films, yeah, Predator 2, even Rush Hour 3, and X2, X-Men United, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong, but I quickly looked at his filmography before I started the video, so I just wanted to be sure, because I like to put out that type of info about any movie I can think of. The movie had a very limited theatrical release in 1987 by Lightning Pictures, and it ultimately got released on home video very quickly the following year. I do not know how much money the movie made because I didn't look at the theatrical run, if it even had one. So, like I said, it was very limited. Obviously, it became a huge cult favorite once it debuted on home video. Like I said, it's one of those films that you see on the shelf and you just can't help but think, ooh, that looks interesting. I'll give this thing a shot. But with a title like Street Trash, I mean, you kind of get exactly what you get when you watch a movie like this. That's pretty much all I gotta say. So, yeah, there's not really much. I mean, much of the cast in the film. I mean, most of them. I don't even know half of these actors. Like, I don't even know who half of these people even are. I mean, maybe they're just people that. I mean, some of them could just be random homeless people they found off the street and just decided to film them, or I mean, yeah. Because other than that, I'm not familiar with any of the people that worked on the movie aside from the effects artist and the director, who went on to become a successful DP and Steadicam operator, who to this date is still working. So, other than that, though, it's really all I got to say about the movie. So let's go ahead and talk about the Blu-ray here by Synapse Films. This is the special Meltdown edition. And Street Trash has been released countless times on VHS. It also got a DVD release by Synapse, and It's been released on Arrow too, by the way, but Synapse did a phenomenal job with this release of the film. So let me go ahead and here and look inside. Here's the Blu-ray for the film. Pretty, yeah. This is it's a label for the Tenafly Viper. You can actually put this on bottles, by the way. It's actually pretty cool. And inside here is a product catalog that basically showcases a lot of titles that Synapse actually has here. So it's basically just like, yeah, there's a... yeah, Synapse put out a lot of titles, like a bunch of cult movies, and yes, they put out a lot of sexploitation films, yeah, as you can see here, for those of you that are into that kind of stuff. Yeah, there's the DVDs and there's the Blu-rays. Synapse put out a lot of stuff for Dario Argento and many others. Many of these titles I actually own. And of course, like I said, there's a lot of, yeah, as you can see, a lot of sexploitation stuff there. Kind of, that is if you're into that kind of stuff. Me, not so much. I actually prefer movies like this. So, but overall, yeah, it's a pretty cool. Almost every Synapse title will come with a catalog like that actually shows it. But this is 2023, so it's updated. So the Blu-ray, I think, came out in 2013. So yeah, it's a new updated catalog. So this is obviously a. As for the video quality on the disc, holy moly, does this film look amazing in high def. Synapse is known for putting out some really stellar releases on Blu-ray, and Street Trash is definitely one of their best. The video is presented in 178x1 widescreen, so it's basically an image that will fit the entire flat screen TV. And honestly, the video quality looks amazing. Detail galore. Even during the special effects, when you see people melt and ooze to the ground, you get to see all of it in beautiful high definition. So much detail. I mean, like I said, I remember watching this movie a long time ago. There was a lot I don't remember, and then when I watched it again fully, there was a lot of stuff I definitely don't remember. But like I said, it's one of those films that after you watch it, it's definitely going to be hard to forget for a while because of all the crazy imagery you're about to see. And honestly, on Blu-ray, it looks amazing. I'm impressed. I would say out of 5 stars, I'd probably give it a solid 5 out of 5. That's how beautiful this film looks. As for the audio, it is presented in a couple of flavors here. We get 5.1 DTS and 2.0 original mono, so it retains the original mono track, which is pretty cool. I listened to the 5.1 DTS track, and honestly, it sounds good, but definitely not as good as the film looks. The audio is kind of muffled, even for 5.1, so like I said, it definitely does not sound as good as it looks. There were even a couple of times where I felt like I may have had to turn on the subtitles, which there are subtitles, thankfully. And also, the disc seems to be all region compatible. It's region A, B, and C, so it'll play in just about anything. But yeah, the audio, I feel like I should have just put in the original mono track instead and just listened to that. But overall, the audio sounds good, but not as good as the video. I would say out of 5 stars for the audio, probably a 3.5. It's still not great. It's not great, but it's not terrible. But then again, the audio is perfect for a film of this quality. I mean, like it's an incredibly low-budget film, so the audio is obviously not going to be the best. Sorry. As for the bonus features, whoa, get ready for a fully loaded special edition. Special Meltdown edition is definitely the way it is because this disc is packed with material. Starting off, we get 2 audio commentaries, both one with Roy Frumkis, the producer and writer, and the other is with director James Monroe. They both talk an awful lot about the production of the movie and the legacy the film has. Their experiences working on the movie, as I'm doubt either they had a lot of, I can't remember too much, but either way, they definitely talk an awful lot about the movie and the locations and whatnot. The Meltdown Memoirs. It's a massive feature-length documentary on the history and making of the film, featuring rare footage and interviews with cast and crew. And it's a massive documentary that talks a lot about the movie. Actually, I think it runs longer than the movie itself. So, if anything you need to know about the movie itself, it's all on there. Also, there was a short film that inspired the movie. Original Street Trash promotional teaser, original theatrical trailer, and apparently, according to this, this was all stuff that was on the original Synapse DVD release, but for the Blu-ray, we actually get a couple of new things. There's a video interview with actress Jane Arakawa, who actually appeared in the film, and deleted scenes. So, all in all, this is a pretty well put together supplemental package. And again, something that Synapse, most Synapse Blu-rays are known for. They're known for just, I mean, like, honestly, Synapse literally gave this film literally Criterion treatment. That's the best way to describe it. So for the bonus features out of 5 stars, oh, it gets a solid 5. This is such a great supplemental package to weave through. So honestly, I mean, like I said, I'm not going to rate the movie itself out of a rating of 5 stars because, yeah, I mean, I stopped doing that a long time ago because I realized I should give everybody a chance to check this movie out instead of trashing on it. I'm not going to trash on this movie at all because if I don't like a movie, I probably won't review it. But I say, you know what, if you haven't had the chance to check this movie out, I would say give it a try. Street Trash is actually an interesting chemical mix that some fans will definitely appreciate, especially diehard cult 80s fans will definitely appreciate this movie. As for newcomers, like for people that are very squeamish or easily offended, you may want to stay away from this movie. It is gory as all hell. It's disgusting. It's got sex and nudity galore, and it's one of those movies you just call despicable trash. But you know what? For many people, including myself, this is a very underrated hidden gem that some people need to check out. The Blu-ray, however, is absolutely gorgeous. The video is phenomenal. The audio, while not perfect, it still serves its purpose very well. And there's an incredible treasure trove of extras to be found on here. So honestly, this Blu-ray definitely gets a high, solid recommendation for me. If you're definitely looking for this movie, the Blu-ray by Synapse is definitely the way to go here. I found it on eBay for I think I got it for $16. That's as cheap as I can find it. So you can go to eBay and get yourself a good copy of it there. This is actually I'd say definitely give it a try. It's actually it's quite an interesting movie. So this concludes the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will continue to put out more of these videos in the days to come. And if you like this stuff, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my channel. So until then, everybody take care and be safe.